Now here we are, the end of the journey. We're right at the end of the journey, and it is here's Negan. We've been waiting for weeks for this episode, and little spoiler, it's not a disappointment. So let's talk about who's in the episode. If you can tell by the name, Negan's obviously in it, Lucille, the person and the bat, and you have little scenes with Carol and Maggie at the start and the end. So the overall plot of this episode is that Carol takes Negan away because Maggie is probably going to end up killing Negan at Alexandria, so she's taken away for safety. And after Negan's basically been banished, he goes look for his bat, and then most of the episode is actually in flashbacks to about 7 months or something after the apocalypse happens, where Negan and Lucille are surviving. As you see by the little plot I just did there, a lot happens compared to one where someone sits in a train all episode and does nothing. This episode is very much like episode 18, so they kind of copy and paste the plot a little, but it's way better. So let's move on to, as you would kind of think of the name, here's Negan. It's a Negan episode, it's Negan focused, and Jeffrey D. Morgan carries it well, and it's very character focused, and it works. Some episodes that are very character focused don't work. Princess, but this one worked the best. Out of all 6 of them, this is the one character episode that worked the best. While we are talking about Jeffrey D. Morgan and how he's literally carried this episode, we are going to talk about his acting and his chemistry with Lucille, who is actually his wife. So kind of hit the jackpot, hire someone's actual wife to play their on-screen wife. Would work. It did, and it makes the relationship really believable because it is believable and it is an actual relationship, and it just works. Okay, they hit the jackpot. Is what I'm gonna say. The person I don't know her name. The person who played, I'm gonna call her Mrs. Jeffrey D. Morgan. Mrs. Jeffrey D. Morgan literally was the second shining star in this episode, even though there's only like 4 characters. This episode had quite a lot of characters actually. I'll take that back. This episode's quite a lot of cast compared to all the other episodes. So second shining star is Mrs. Jeffrey D. Morgan behind Jeffrey D. Morgan. Now let's take a little switch to talk about the pacing and how it was really good in this episode. I never got bored. This episode is the best pacing out of all 6. This episode, it just keeps moving and everything works. It never slows down, it never just rushes, it just goes at a steady pace that works, and it's great. It's never boring, and this episode's always entertaining. Probably because Jeffrey D. Morgan is such a good actor and is able to carry something like this. It just works. The pacing is the best. I'm just going to say, there's points here. Also, the ending. I'm just going to say the ending. Jeffrey D. Morgan was able to hit the feels, okay? He was able to act well enough to hit the feels when something happened. And then that ending where they just set up a confrontation between 2 characters and the stare-off going on. Yes, it gets me really excited for season 11. And it works. It's like a weak finale, but it works as an okay finale. It keeps them intrigued to the next season with the ending. It's just a weak finale, but it's still keeping the intrigue, and I'm excited for season 11 because of the ending of this. Wow, this whole scene just put a smile on my face, and I was like, I can't wait. I'm so excited for this confrontation between some characters I'm not going to mention, but there's a confrontation that's been set up, and yes. Now it's time for the overall review and the one word I will use for this episode. And this word hit me about halfway through because it was that good, and I'm going to say this is amazing and the best episode of these 6 episodes. Way better than all the others. It's like miles ahead of all the others. And maybe the best episode of season 10, I'm being honest. This might be the best episode of season 10. There is this cool surprise like character. I'm not going to tell you who they are because it's a surprise. The pacing is amazing. The acting is amazing. It's the most entertaining out of all of them. And this is the best episode of these 6. Maybe season 10. Well, that's what I think. Well, now, what do you guys think? Did you hate this episode? Please tell me, and see you next time.